One typical day at Acme's specialty firm, let's witness a stress-free conversation between an employee named Robbie and his manager. The manager urgently asked Robbie to get some details from a contract for a due diligence activity as part of an ongoing RFP. Robbie looks at the different contracts he needs to get some data from, such as supplier, agreement date, contract type, services, payment terms, and even he needs to identify if these contracts has either one-sided or two-sided indemnification. Looks quite hard of a task, and the urgency of it adds to the pressure, but for Robbie, it just seemed like any other day, and he immediately knows what to do. He would start by opening the source document, then clicking copy window, which highlights the source to start the copy. Then he goes to the destination. In this case, he enters it in Excel for now. And once paste in form is clicked, both the source document and the destination form will be analyzed and determine the appropriate data placement. If it's a new copy-paste scenario, one that Clipboard AI hasn't seen before, he will get this confirmation window where it shows a preview on how each piece of source data maps into the corresponding destination. Clipboard AI uses semantic extraction to extract from various types of formats. For this document, he chooses universal extractor that is meant for unstructured documents like contracts, articles, or any free-form text, but it can also extract seamlessly from other types as shown on the left panel, including specific documents like invoice, passport, ID cards, financial statements, and all other semi-structured sources. In case some data doesn't match properly, he then change it from here, and those changes will be automatically remembered. Another function that he does here is data transformation, whereby just using natural language, he can provide instruction on how he wants the output value to be pasted to look like. In this case, changing the format from of the dates to MMDDYYY and making the output of the warranty field more concise by specifying the word limit. Then he goes ahead and click paste data, which automatically maps the validated values into the destination fields. Now, same thing, he goes ahead and pastes directly into the form that his boss asked him to submit it into, and now look at it go. Oh, just like that, he's on to his next one. In the fact that the good old copy paste is known for its handy keyboard shortcuts, this time he just uses Ctrl-Alt-C to copy and Ctrl-Alt-V to paste it to the form there. Just some minor transformations and it's good to go. It's definitely a breakthrough in the copy-paste function that we know of. The good old copy-paste works, but Clipboard AI makes it work way better and fun to use. But now, Robbie didn't even break a sweat, no matter how urgent this task is. Like any other typical workplace, work never ends. So Robbie's just glad that AutoPilot via Clipboard AI always got his back. Clipboard AI tackles the classic problem of manual data transfer in an innovative way, making it more intelligent through semantic automation. This intelligence enables it to understand the source that the data is being copied from, whether the source is structured like web forms, tables, Excel, semi-structured like invoices, purchase orders, receipts, passports, or any key value query docs, or unstructured documents like contracts, emails, Word documents, using AI-powered target schema extraction. Consequently, it can infer the context of the destination using state-of-the-art semantic matching, targeting, and execution that determines the mapping of the source data points into the destination, whether it is a form, Excel, PDF, or any plain text app. It's like reinventing the wheel, but of course for the better, increasing its mileage by making it compatible to any terrain. Conversation between Robbie and his boss continues after Robbie is able to provide the output in just a minute. His day is just starting, so more work for him and his reliable digital assistant. The task at hand is ingesting a bulk set of documents, reading its contents, and presenting it in a structured form for further analysis downstream. With the help of UiPath apps, Robbie instructs AutoPilot to quickly build an initial interface that can accept a SharePoint folder URL where the documents are stored and then present it back to the app in a table. All this achieved through natural language inputs or image upload. Then all he needs to do is wire up the button to trigger the workflow reading all the file contents. Generative AI capabilities are heavily embedded into the automation platform, so it exists in many forms. Just like how Robbie can generate an app from just a text or an image, with the same approach, functional workflows can also be generated on the fly. In this case, reading each file content in SharePoint and then outputting it into a data table. It creates a preview of the workflow, including the connectors it uses, then Robbie just clicks continue to further customize it in Studio. In here, he just adds a step called extract document data, which provides the ability to digitize and extract from any document types. He chooses generative extractor, which uses large language model fine-tuned for extracting from unstructured documents like contracts. And all he needs to do is list down all the fields he needs and provide a prompt on how to extract the values of those fields. Once done, the extraction results will be added to a data table using add data row. With the help of AutoPilot, Robbie easily generates expressions for his workflow variables. In this case, he needs to fetch the first result and convert it into an item array to be inserted into the data table. Finally, only thing he needs to do is make sure that the input and output arguments are in place. Output being the data table containing extraction results, and the input being the SharePoint folder URL. Going back to UiPath apps, he just wires up the button click with the workflow along with the input arguments. And then attaches its output to the table element. And just like that, with the blink of an eye, Robbie has built a functional app to intelligently extract the contents of contracts in a SharePoint folder. Quick recap on what he's done so far. On the first use case, Robbie used Clipboard AI to help address the first urgent request from his boss, which is to get some information from the contracts and fill it into a form. The recent one, he created an app he just used to ingest bulk contracts from SharePoint and extract its contents using generative AI. And now, the third and final step is to use the extracted information to do a summary report and send it to his boss in nice format. He uses Microsoft Azure OpenAI connection, generate chat completion activity to perform document level summary for each contract. Each document's output summary is added to a collection to be used for generating the overall summary report. After updating the workflow to output the document level summary, his final task is to create the overall summary. He does this by adding another button and create an event that accepts the document level summary to generate the final output using UiPath Gen AI activity called summarize text. For this, he doesn't have to build a workflow as he can just use the connector directly from the app. Similarly, he adds Microsoft Teams connector to send the final output to his boss. And now's the fun part. He goes ahead and uses his app to deliver the good news to his boss, so he lives and bosses happily ever after. But wait, what about my loan processing officer who uses Microsoft Copilot for Teams? In a parallel universe, same firm, same boss, be that either for better or for worse, surely they can do something about all that paperwork. Robbie, obviously one of his loan officers, is using UiPath plugin for Microsoft Copilot to quickly process loan submission requests. Robbie starts by asking Copilot about his most recent loan request. Using Copilot native functionalities, it returns summarized information on his emails related to pending loan requests. He then asks Copilot to submit the loan application with the highest amount using UiPath. Copilot responds with an adaptive card returned by UiPath to confirm and proceed submitting the requests. This runs a UiPath automation including the recommended next steps and even the next sets of automations recommended to complete the end-to-end business process. Now that's what I consider productivity so profound that it transcends across multiverse. That's all, folks, and goodbye and see you again.